Hey, Welsh Metals here. Today I'll be tearing apart an old street-cleaned PlayStation 1. It's pretty wrecked, most of the case is snapped off and destroyed. And it's missing a couple of components, but nothing much. Only one, that I can see, but there's probably more missing, smashed off. Power supply contains small amounts of germanium, silver, aluminium and copper. So good from the power supply. You can see some of the copper there, some silver on that fuse, more underneath on the solder, along with some tin. Got the laser drive here, good for copper and small amounts of gold within this mylar cable here, and copper within the motor, and that motor. That's a stepper motor, I believe. That'll just come straight off, connector there. These things need to be taken apart separately due to the tiny screws. Take it apart fully, see what's inside. Last time I took one of these apart must have been in the 90s. Fix dust problems within them when they used to overheat in the early days. Some of these screws won't come out as they're too chewed up, like this one here, which is not even connecting anymore. So that's not an issue though. One more screw there. Didn't notice that. Take out all the cables. A few of them. Shiny material. Steel. More steel there. Surrounding the controller slots. Also where the memory cards would go. I believe this entire bit comes out on its own, if I remember. Bit of ribbon cable, silver plated. I think I'll use the pliers to remove that. That's well stuck in there. That out some. What's it stuck upon? Usual. It's just a bit mincemeated. Pull it apart somewhere. See, this screw here is actually still connecting by a small bit. So I'll have to crush that or bend it off. Bend it quicker. These screws aside. There we go. Nice tearing sounds. Quite sharp. I've taken apart many things. Quite good at avoiding cutting myself these days. That's not coming off easily. Screw jammed in there. Plastic all around it. I think I'll get this circuit board off first. Got to be some screws securing it in place. All the ones underneath have been removed, I can see, of relevance. One on the corner here, that's for the power supply. supply board removed. There's the tin antimony silver alloy on the bottom. Always good for collecting. Well, once the board is depopulated fully. I believe these screws on this component here holding it in place. Lots of good stuff on this board, as you can see, which I will go through in a minute, but I've freed it from its casing. Oh, that's really stuck in there. Got it. I can see why. It's all down to this one screw on the corner by here. It's held in by that bit of plastic. Well, squish that. Gone. There we go. And the plate has been freed. Good amount of metal here also. Some steel from the screws. Some of them appear to be plated. The board has been freed. Still got the control board here for the controllers. There, gone. Some more steel alloys here. All good scrap. Metal in a separate pile and plastic in another. It's the controller board, also for memory cards, as you can see. Gold plating inside of the connectors on them. Probably on inside of the controller ports also. Same for the solder on the back. Smells a bit. That's because it's been in the rain. Have to wash my hands afterwards. This is a modified PlayStation. Apparently, someone has modified it at some point. The ghetto modification. Probably why it doesn't work anymore, because they got it wrong. There's the PlayStation mod. So let's see what we got on the board. Lots of SMD capacitors, these things. They contain aluminium and silver. SMD components, these are probably resistors, yeah. Or blocking diodes. They can contain small amounts of silver again. Some SMD resistors, tiny ones, modern ones. Lots there in a cluster. See all those tiny numbers in the middle of the screen. These chips are good for gold and silver recovery. Good many of them. This big one here, I'll have quite a bit in it compared to the other chips. You have a crystal oscillator there, plated with gold, very, very shiny, nice. There's also some silver inside of those oscillators, crystal oscillators. Those brown things there, they're palladium based MLCCs, monolithic capacitors, and some more resistors all around them. Here we have motor drivers. These can be good for both silver and gold recovery, although mostly silver. There's also a lot of copper inside of all of these chips. The board itself is clad in copper, you can see that there. That's heavy copper, which is a variant of your normal copper alloys, in that it's quite pure heavy copper, which is why it's heavy. We have a tantalum based blocking diode there, that thing, that has tantalum in it, a rare metal. There's also trace metals of like ruthenium and palladium and other things contained within most SMD components, but only in trace amounts. Some have more than others. You've got a connector here, that'll be silver plated within. Not too much more that I can see on there. We've got another timing crystal, that's in fact a timing crystal there. And that probably contains silver, like most do. Some actually contain gold instead, as it's even more conductive and supplies an even more accurate timing. Got some small jumpers here, nothing there. Lots and lots of small SMD capacitors and copper connectors. It looks quite pure, that copper. Nice sound to it. Wow, nice big resistor bank there, full of resistors. Good for silver recovery. And if you can collect a massive bucket full, even ruthenium recovery. So, rare elements. More gold plating on that connector. You can see that in there. Doesn't look very thickly plated, but still, gold recovery. Same here on this slot. These most likely have silver plating within. Yep. Audio connectors. And video connectors. AVG. Not too much more on that board. But not bad scrap overall. That's all that I just got out of that PlayStation, which was apparently a modified PlayStation. So, quite a lot of material in there. So the board is absolutely covered in small chips. It's quite an old device. As old as me, so retro. Till next time.